the minutes. It is 6 now. If you're ready, not right now, I can give you time when you open it.
Yeah, so he's doing that. Yeah, so it's just going to take that'd be cheap, wouldn't it? Well, he lives, and he's in New City.
That's not mine, sorry. I think it's this job.
I was gonna say, like, now that's almost the time in Newport. They said the average New Hampshire, of course, it's bigger than Nashua and all that, but the average monthly rental from time is $25
Donna, I found it. I found my paper. I found mine. So you keep yours. Thank you.
Oh, you're full. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready to
Somebody's gotta tell them something.
Oh, yeah. Right, you don't have to be ready.
Oh, I've done it every time. I don't blame nothing but blame.
How many people are on your list, right? If something came up, I mean,
There's a few, not a lot. Because everybody knows those names up. You know what I mean? I really feel like that's what happened.
but if you had one of these going, everything did from here within 50, 60 miles.
I feel like the interest rate is finally caught up with it. It's time to.
It'll calm down. Real estate.
Okay, if you, everybody's got their
Yeah, real estate's
phones turned to silent, please, and then we'll go to call the order at 6:02 p.m. on February 14th, 2023 with the Newport Planning Board. I'll start with a roll call with Herb on my right.
Herb Keller, Select Board Rep. Raymond Gibby.
Kevin Merrill?
Bert Spalding Senior.
And David Burnham, Chair. Bert Spalding will be sitting for Tobin, who is unable to make it tonight. And Herb is
Sitting for Jim.
for Jim,
Oh, yes.
because Jim's a regular, he's the alternate. Agenda review. I think administration wants to update us on the
Yes.
hockey rink.
I'd like to request that if we do have the superintendent of schools here, that Donna came to just listen to an overview of what we found out about that hockey rink and the land. And I was going to request that that be moved prior to continued business, if you approve.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we move that conversation first on the list.
Second.
And we have a second by Bert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Go ahead with your,
So first of all, what I would like to say is if anyone has comments or wants to participate in a discussion about the hockey rink, they could do that during the public communications. This was just to give you an update that, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but the hockey rink was built on land that was purely designated for recreational purposes. And regardless of it being a donated land, it has to stay that way unless there is a replacement of kind somewhere else. And it doesn't have to abut or be adjacent to the school or that property. And the other main thing that was found, and this is all going to have to be worked on prior to permitting because it was one of your conditions. I just wanted to update you because it's such an anomaly that the school has been working with the state, getting some information. I've gotten a lot of information mostly from residents here on finding this grant. And after this, I'm planning on, for the most part, updating the town manager of where he wants to go forward with it, because the school and the town manager and the superintendent at the time I think it was 1995. It started in the 70s, but I think the hockey rink came into possession in 1995. The names of the school superintendent and town manager are on all the paperwork together, signing for everything. So instead of this just being like a school issue or oops, it's a town issue, it's kind of like we're both in it together. And I just wanted to broach you on that, and hopefully we can have some kind of agreement so they can permit with the other conditions. You guys, there's a few other things I have to do too, but be able to satisfy all the conditions that you requested to build the vocational school on that location. But presently, as I understand it, we have to come up with some solution prior to permitting because this land is designated strictly for recreation, like they did with all the other pieces of the property adjacent to the new agricultural structure. And again, and I just wanted to close the circle, and obviously, if you guys continue to have questions or want me to update you on the findings of it or whatever, what's going on, I can do that, absolutely.
So it's still unclear from the grant search who ultimately has ownership? Is it town?
We're both, well, the legal might, I've also thought, when I've been talking with Ed Edmonds, that was Ed Ebond, I think, that was on the, I said maybe even legal, like illegal needs to be involved, but that I think Hunter should decide, or BOS or something. But what it looks like is we both approved, the town and the school were working in tandem, approving all the money, approving all the conditions, approving that this land cannot be used for anything else besides recreational purposes for perpetuity. And so it seems like it should be a collaborative effort to me, but if you've got legal counsels involved, which I hope wouldn't have to happen, I guess they could argue, no, the town isn't involved, or no, the school, I don't know, that's above me. But from a bird's eye view, it looks like it's a school and town collaboration.
So from where the building is going, so, I mean, they could, as long as the school, in the interest of putting the building there, agrees that they will replace in kind to satisfy that prior agreement.
Well, right. It's not,
Then-
it could be costly though, like if the school did that on their own. Okay, right, true, absolutely.
In terms of that grant.
I know, absolutely.
No. Okay, so we gotta kind of get rid of all of the paranoia here and all of the whatever. It's an easy solution, a quid pro quo in property. And the school believes that they have enough to do that. It went forward to here with the impression that we might not have to do that. But it is my understanding, Donna, am I correct, that we have significant other that will be the exchange for here, which last thing we're going to see is the brakes on this project. So,
What's that mean? But I mean, that's gotta come.
That's not really one person, yeah.
So that has, to me, just listening to what you said and everything, I mean, that has to go to conversation between town manager and or board of selectmen.
I mean, as of right
In
now,
agreement with the
Right.
school to
Yeah.
satisfy the terms
of your, or no
grant.
permits get interest.
Of the
Yeah,
grant.
and no, you put it on a condition and no permits would be submitted unless someone directly, above me came and told me to permit. But as of right now, they have to satisfy those terms or come back in here and present to you to have them removed. But the understanding at the state level is, I don't think it needs to hold up permitting by any stretch, but the half an acre, roughly half an acre, it might be a little more, has to be set aside somewhere else for strictly recreational use, and that's not, I think it could be done, but it's not as easy as, half an acre in Newport's pretty expensive right now.
Well, in any event, that's between, I mean, all it is just what they call it, quid pro quo, or just
Yeah.
an agreement
Yes.
between school and town.
Yes,
That this will
exactly.
be done
Exactly.
yep.
Yep.
prior to moving forward with pulling that.
That's that
Yes.
easy. Yep.
I can testify that it will be done. We did some hiking today and measuring, and we're fine.
Hiking in the woods? Or, I mean, you
No.
can't give a mountain lot property with trees on it as a flat
It
athletic
does.
field.
It's already attached to recreational land.
It can't be land, though, that is already currently used for recreation, because I thought we could go into like the town forest or something, and I was told actually by Ed Emond that you can't take recreational land and make it recreational land. And, right.
So net
So,
adds.
again, I just really wanted to state that that land does have like an issue on it. We just need to solve it, and then the permit. That's all. Since it did come to more than I would have thought it was even that night. I would have thought it was much more, it seems a bigger issue to me, not in the rise of agreement, just of like even monetarily to me. But maybe I'm wrong, than I thought that night. I thought it would be easier.
Right, but it's no different than what they did with the basketball court, not the basketball court, the tennis court or a soccer field.
They did, and that cost a lot of money to change into, but I think those were
But
like.
that's a commitment
Yep.
that's gotta be there. Now, what gets put, so it's a rec field for a rec field, is the way I would,
It
somebody
has,
explain it to me?
the acreage has to be used for some recreational use. It does not have to be designated for hockey rink, although it could be, of course. Or any, right.
Right. I think that was the only other conversation. I don't know if you want to go ahead with it. The public. I don't know.
Make a note that Mike Lucio is on board with us now.
6:10.
Yes.
You want to hear from me now? I paid a visit to that guy.
Yeah, I'll open the floor for public comments or questions. Ed?
Well, I made a call to this guy with the Parks and Recreation today. I've been in contact looking at the different acts about just what you discussed. There's an Act 54 and there's an Act 36-3, all dealing with that same exchange process. And probably by now somebody's obviously aware of it. And it's the thing, and I'm going to say this word wrong, but obsoletation is one of the conditions where you remove a facility when someone determines that it's obsolete and it's not usable, but you cannot like put a building there. You have to replace it with, like you said, not necessarily the same thing. It doesn't have to be a hockey rink. It could be anything, football field, but it still has to remain open space. And then the other thing is problematic encumbrance. Well, that has to do with if you're thinking about making the change, and I think that's what people are looking at, is the fact that if you decide you want to put a building there, you have to replace that piece of land and designate it as a recreation area. And that has to come from somewhere. And the other thing he said is this is all incumbent on the town. The thing I didn't understand, there's a lot of signatures on that grant. And she's got a copy of all, like she said, all the names, but the reality is the grant was made out in the name of the town, so we are the ones that would bear the brunt of any errors that likely would have happened had this not been brought about. Because there's more to just making that swap locally. You need to get the approval of the New Hampshire Parks, that group down there in Concord. You have to make a request, and you say that's already been researched. So I was just trying to clarify what she said, but I thought it was a joint grant, and I found out, no, the grants are only issued to towns, and the school just made agreements for those agreements are just for usage of the property and maintenance necessary. So they've agreed back then that we could use it for that, or anybody could use it. And you could put a parking lot in there, for that matter, if that parking lot were used for access to recreation. Because that land has to be able to be accessed, or the same amount of land has to be able to be accessed at all times by anybody in the whole world, I guess. I don't know. So, does that any help? I don't know. I just popped in there today.
Thanks, Ed. Did anybody else would you like to say something?
Sure. We nailed it. It was perfect. So the land that we want to build, that part of the CTE was grant funded, and what they had said is we just need to find a piece of property somewhere else and just say that is for recreational use. And it doesn't have to be cleared land. They said you could have land and you could put, and this was right from in Concord, so we've been in contact with Concord for quite a few weeks, trying to work through this process. They said if you had woods and you put a bench down there, and you said, we're designating this area for bird watching, that's recreational use, that's fine. So you don't have to cut down trees, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You just have to say 3/4 of an acre, 3/4 of an acre, recreational use, and then that's what they said. They did say that it shouldn't hold up any permits, though. That's what would concern me, if it would hold up permits while we're trying to work through this process. They said as long as you're looking, and it's known that this is what the end result is gonna be, it shouldn't hold up any of your process of building. They said you can go ahead and build on it. But I can get that in writing if the board feels they'd like that in writing.
I mean, I guess from my seat, I would just like to push it back to town manager, board of selectmen.
Absolutely.
and For a legal decision.
Yeah, especially if I had never heard that it's all the town's responsibility, because if, once that gets said, like, yeah, I'm just thinking, you see, all this is, I was just speaking with Donna, we need things in writing, because if it truly is now the town's, and I do think that regardless of whose it is, the school has seemed very willing to partake in even some of the financial aspects of this. So, but if it is in fact the town, and pretend the school said, well, hey, it's the town, our hands are off it, again, this is kind of above me. It has to go to town manager and BOS to decide the land, the cost, the use, and so, and legal.
Yeah, whatever terms of that agreement there are.
Right.
That's all on those.
Right, and whether I hold up permits or not would come from, them. So I am moving it forward. I was just, it's still on your, it has to be solved one way or another. And if solving it is the town and the school have talked and they're in some kind of agreement, even if and Hunter says, we're in an agreement, it's not written, but Christina, you could permit, then I permit. And I'll mark I'll get the email from Hunter and I'll add that to the file, along with the other things we're waiting for prior to permitting. Yeah, it's as simple as that, but it's going, and again, I thought it was the town and the school were fed together, but whichever what legally it is, I guess is who it falls on.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say that, and this was brought up, you mentioned, you're right, they'll share the cost, but again, Bert mentioned it last week, this cost is mine, it's a taxpayer's, so this is gotta be a consideration, so maybe the right thing to do on the permits, if possible, to hold them up, to assure that there's no cost involved. I know you're gonna say there won't be, we promise and all that, but you don't know down the road, you've been researching and things like that, but I think that's the reason I brought it up, and plus I think we avoided perhaps the final penalty is if we had done this without the paperwork gone to the state, they can hold up grants now for any amount of times.
Yeah, did it list a penalty?
We'll avoid that.
Yeah, I think there are significant, I think most of the penalties are no further funds for anything that is to be get on the state and federal level would be forwarded to you. So actually, I mean, I don't really know how that would, I couldn't even imagine those things coming down. But yeah, I guess that would mean the whole funding for the vocational school, which, I mean, the whole thing, I don't think anything that's gonna happen, but yes, that's what they say is the penalty. Until you get this solved, we stop all funding for any project. And any awarded money that would stop. And you couldn't go for further awards, that would stop until you solve it. Again, I think it should be easy.
But from what Ed quoted, as long as you have an agreement in principle, then it can move forward while you're working out the details.
And so, again,
That's up to legal.
yes, this is legal, and who's gonna hold the weight of that? Because there's some value there's some money that's gonna be put out somewhere for this. Whoever holds that would be up to,
It's stated they can hold grants until there's a viable solution. So you're likely right. If they say there's something, someone's still got to do some signatures. And it's going to be the town. It ought to be a lesson. Somebody, how that get missed is really surprises me. And I don't know, I'm not saying you guys are bad people for missing it. Whoever went ahead and did it, the school, you, whatever, but that needs to be looked into if this ever happens again. And secondly, why wouldn't that be isn't that like on tax maps or a Mylar or anything like that? Is that brought up? Is that any indication on the property records, if that's there.
I think just based on the footage they took to, the footwork it took to find the documents and everything, I mean, people have changed. The shared responsibility, school to town with all the land, down and up through there, just missed in translation. Nobody had the actual fact in front of them until the documents were looked at.
It should have been added to, the registry, Sullivan County Registry of Deeds, that portion of the school property was restricted, strictly restricted for recreational use, that it's not up to them to get rid of this or that or the other thing in full, in this area. And that could have been added, and then it would have been found in a title search, that there was this restriction. But that, I don't even know how to do that. That's someone writing that
Yeah,
up.
but in this case, you wouldn't even done a title search.
Yeah.
We've seen it done correctly. We saw it recently up there by Virginia Irwin's with the land that was dedicated. It was recorded and properly. Without it being recorded, then you have this dilemma.
Exactly. Ideally, it should have been recorded, and then, again, I think it's gonna be easily fixed. I'm just telling you that the questionable issue did come out to be an issue. Hopefully, it's really small. I'm giving it to Hunter on all the information, yeah. And if he wants me to do legwork on working with whoever to whatever, I don't know, but it's going up that way.
I think that's just the message that has to go back.
Yep.
Christina, it's easier than walking on high heels to fix that.
I know. No, it's above me to decide how to
Easier
figure
than
this
walking on
out.
high heels. I noticed her height increased here tonight. She was,
I thought you were talking about your choice of footwear.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we'll go on to, back to our original continued business, which was a request to continue from 2022 SPFP 3, North Newport L and Holdings LLC, request final review to approve a site for the property identified as map 218 lot 004. The proposal is to construct a 96-unit housing complex. Property is located on North Main Street in the rural zoning district. And again, that was a request to continue by the applicant.
Chair. I will step down for this because of the conflict and you have a quorum.
They declined to.
You're talking about the withdrawal, okay.
Yep.
I'm,
Do we have a date certain?
So,
It goes
yes,
to
you
me
have to
for the
vote,
169
you have to
Southeast Street
vote to
also.
continue, and then the date certain, and why don't I always have that, is March 14th. No, I apologize. I believe I think it's March 21st is our date next month. We had to move it back a week. That isn't town meeting, is it? March 14th.
No, that's
Yes, it is. No, not for you guys. School meeting, school board.
Oh, okay, so we moved it to March, it's March 21st at 6 PM is the date certain to continue if you approve a continuance.
I'll make a motion that we continue case 2022-SPFP-3 until March 21st, 23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me,
All those opposed? Yes,
was the time given?
No, 6 PM.
6 PM here.
Please include.
Thank you. Okay, we'll come back there again. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Okay, going on to new business, we'll start with 2023 SPFP 1, 169 Sunapee Street LLC, owner Ron DeCola, agent, requests final review to approve site plan for the property identified as map 114, lot 032. The proposal is a new construction for a multi-unit housing complex. The property is located at 21 Cross Street in the industrial zoning district.
There's also the large scales of these.
Those?
These are the large. I don't know if there's room or you want
I
them.
think this is for just the addition, right?
No, this is
the
for a
whole
whole
thing again?
new complex. Maybe you want the large. One's open.
Well, it's the same as this in here, right?
It is, I just didn't know, sometimes, there's multiple sets. It is absolutely the same. And I did give additional handout of elevation and floor plans, in front, on the top.
Christina, can you hear me?
Not yet.
Yes, Ron, I can, they're still reviewing.
But John could put that up on the big screen if you'd like him to. It'll make it easier for the board members.
You know what, it's unfortunate, I can't, oh, I did get it on. Do you want to see this?
Yeah, I would just need, you have to enable for screen sharing for me.
Here's another part of it. And I gave you that.
Yeah.
That's,
Attic 25 units, down in the corner.
Put building plans there.
The entrance and egress is
Not
gonna
the
be,
whole thing. Not the whole thing, it's just, yeah, we already approved the whole.
There's a river.
Yeah.
We put the building over here.
Yeah.
This is the building down here. Whole new building, whole new lot layout, whole new everything. There are no building plans. There's a lot line, there's a footprint of a building, there are nothing else. You
If-
can't, I don't know how you can do it. It's not complete.
if
An
you,
addition.
if you look on this page with, I think it's like 10 pages in, Dave, it shows the two separate units. One will be on, the new one's on Central Street.
Yeah, because this one here fronts this street, not this street.
Yeah, same piece of property.
I thought it
No,
was
no, no.
that corner.
No, it's the same piece of property.
Okay, yeah.
But this is a new structure, which, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but the submission doesn't have building plans. So we don't know.
That's what
I
I
mean,
mean, that's what came here. Nothing here.
not in there.
Just that.
I did submit a checklist, and they seem to have everything besides DES application. Obviously, you can disagree with me, but I did get copies of the checklist.
That's why I was going through the checklist, and on one of them, it's got, Mylar, not applicable. It's applicable to the building.
We don't have Mylar for, until it's approved, we have to make the Mylar,
Okay.
and then submit it to the registry. But, because they were so expensive, I usually brought them in after you approved, and if it, whether it's this meeting or another meeting, I would bring it after. I would have,
So, I mean, for instance, you got highway with their comment, last one, need full set of construction plans. I don't know how fire can look at this and approve it without full set of construction plans. We don't have a full submission.
what was high, you don't ask for full set of construction plans
I'm just
under,
reading the comments that are on here.
well, actually, this is a state road, so highway department, I don't know if they would want, can actually request a traffic impact study. That would be DOT. I think impact for pedestrians and sidewalks would also be oversight of DOT. And I also think that full set of construction plans are done when you come to permit. So that seems like all those seem like somewhat of an odd request, considering it's a state road. Water and sewer would obviously have, and they did have plans in there for water and sewer, and to follow any town ordinances. But yeah, this is, Central Street's a state road.
The highway department is asking for a traffic impact study. And the pedestrian traffic, sidewalks, street lighting, and a set of plans. 'Cause evidently, they're gonna tie into town.
Again, the traffic, I think that would be DOT's request, it's a state road. So I don't think it's the purview. Now, if you guys want I think it would be DOT requesting that. The town highway department has no oversight on Central Street. It's.
So that's a state highway. I thought Sunapee Street was the state highway.
Central is a state road, and so they don't have any oversight to act unless, and now I will say the state might ask for a traffic study themselves. The state might ask, oh no, they already got approval. They already got approval from DOT.
Christina, may I request something with the board? And would you allow us to make our presentation? I think we can clear up a lot of your questions if we are allowed to make our presentation.
They're just going through your paperwork, I believe, Ron, and then I think they're gonna clear it up. I think,
I think just some questions and we can answer them.
I know, I agree, probably way better than I
don't get it.
Did you see the thing on the state Senate?
Excuse me.
And this is new,
There.
it just came out.
Yeah. Here and here. There we go. Oh, sure.
Christina, that section where they're gonna use for their driveway, that's the rail trail, part of the rail trail. I mean, is there any covenants or anything dealing with that section of Old
For the
Railroad?
driveway?
For, well, for the.
No, for the rail trail.
For the railroad bed.
For the
For
walkway?
that section,
The railroad bed.
where the railroad used to be, that's gonna be their driveway.
Again, the driveway was approved by DOT.
I know, but
But
I'm
they
just saying.
can't go on to this, what the state has taken as right of way for that rail
But
trail.
wouldn't DOT then not, that's DOT?
They wouldn't know unless they looked at
But that's their state,
they do the road.
They were looking at the road, not the driveway access.
they actually did,
And
they
where
do.
it was-
That is what they do, the driveway access. That's how you get a driveway permit for Central Street.
But they wouldn't be considering that that was the old railroad bed.
So,
Unless-
so the entry to Central Street is the old railroad bed.
Yes.
Okay, I can
And
look
it goes
into
through,
it.
it goes through Newton Bartlett and across Main Street and down around
So
the depot.
let me call DOT and see if they rescind their approval.
I don't even know if that's part of it. Maybe that section isn't owned by the state or something. I don't know.
I'll have to ask. That would be up to them, because it's the state approving a driveway permit on state land. So, but I will broach it with them and see if there was a mistake made.
Yeah, I don't know if it was looked into that part, so.
Typically, DOT is pretty thorough, but again, I can call them and question their approval, if you'd like.
I think it's something that needs to be looked at just in case.
Well, the state approved it, so who would get in trouble? The state. So, I mean, you're kind of in a catch-22, but I will call them. I will call them.
Okay, well, that will be one of the conditions of that.
If you're putting two buildings on the same property in two different locations that are gonna have to have two different addresses, because the entrance and egress are on two different roads, don't you have to subdivide that property? If you're gonna have two addresses,
Depending on that zone.
nobody's gonna know where
It's
to go.
industrial.
Yeah.
If a fire gets called in, how are they gonna know what building to go to?
They would get a different 911 address.
Yeah, I would think.
I mean, like Dartmouth calls, they've got one piece of property. They all
Yeah, the
live on street.
property is 21
So the
Cross
tax
on
map-
the other one,
lot doesn't really.
And this one's gonna be
bear
central.
on the addresses.
One address will be Cross, and one will be Central. Yeah.
But you can, we'll just have to look at that zone.
I think there's another issue with fire had a problem with the road,
Access around.
Yeah.
Well,
If you look at the river side, the river 50 feet from the river comes right up to the back edge of that road.
so another one of my questions for this, I mean, we don't have building sections or anything, we don't know height, area, we do have a height limitation, we don't have a height on this building. We don't have any plans that indicate anything, we got a picture from somewhere. We have floor plans, but that's all we have. So I can't see it as complete until we get those plans. And we can't copycat what we did at the other building because it's a different building.
I think they do have the elevation of this structure.
Where?
On the bigger maps.
I'm not sure. If that's one, is there any other sticking point, an elevation number? Because if that's the only, I would ask.
It's not a number either, it's an understanding of the building because, like fire is already stated, he's gotta get access around three sides. If this building's 40 feet high, then that
All I
exponentially
was
complicates
saying,
that.
all I was saying is I could ask if they have this in the paperwork, or if you're gonna not accept it as complete because of that, prior to doing that, if they have that. But, that was it, or I guess accept it, or have it.
And all I see on here is the elevation of the primary floor above the parking deck at 797. I don't see any elevated floors at all. Like I said, I mean, the fire looks at it to get around, you know, if he's gotta get a truck around the backside, a ladder, can he reach with what he's got? Those kind of concerns come in.
John?
I
John?
think it's garage floor.
John Roque?
Yeah, John, you were gonna get me elevation numbers today,
And so, you know, it's just curious.
correct, or no?
I have everything as a PDF that I can put up on the screen right now. The elevation of the outside of it, all the different floor plan levels, everything.
I thought that was in this packet, so it's in the packet you sent me, I don't have the elevation numbers?
In-ground stormwater infiltration.
Or,
That's the slope of the ground.
but yeah, if you could put that up, that'd be great, or maybe send it to my email and I can print it out. I thought it was in this packet you sent me. I do have the floor plans, but I don't necessarily see the elevation.
Yeah, the architect finalized stuff this afternoon. He sent it to us, and Ron and I have it in our presentation thing that I was gonna put up on the screen to show you guys.
Okay, well, I needed the elevation for I needed the elevation, so yeah, I'd put that up on the screen, or if you could send it to me. And,
You have to allow me to do a screen share. I can't
oh,
screen share.
okay, hold on.
He's gotta be able to see, if he understands that this is this high, 3 floors, or, I mean, like you said, he doesn't have complete information.
Hold on, how do I do this? I think I have to make you the host. Okay, John, you should be all set.
Before this goes too long and getting it here for this meeting, that violates the public's right to know and review beforehand. When the application is put in, it should be complete. If it's not complete, this has to be continued.
That's exactly where I'm at.
So to try and get it today over to us is in fact violating the whole intent of the process.
So it's just the elevation, so I'm just trying to get what you're missing.
We need building plans.
Building plans.
We need elevations, we need floors, we need.
You have the floor plans.
Right, we need that
Just
set.
the ground
So
floor.
you can review it in whole. You know, the fire chief looking at it in 2 plans, and
He looked at it already. Okay, so I'm a little lost on the floor plans, because I need to know what to ask them, so,
we need a plan set, a building plan set. Floor plans, elevations,
Okay, the
including
floor-
heights,
The floor plans are right here, so what opposed to this do you?
So tell me on the floor plans, do we get over 40 feet, can you tell?
Well, that's elevation, so we're missing elevation, I've got that. You said floor plans.
So,
Yeah, that's in the floor plan, it's all brought in at once.
and-
Fine, we're
and
missing
this- And this picture as an elevation is not a plan submission.
Okay, so the elevation we have, we've got the floor plan, so we need elevation, that's what we're missing, I agree.
Elevation is a dimension, but this is called elevations north, south, east, west. So that you can look at
Absolutely.
character of the building and all of that,
So-
that we purview,
Okay, yep,
okay?
and what else
So
was,
that's,
it, just the
and
elevations
where's,
then?
so where are the utilities coming in? Water, sewer?
I think that's all in the plans. On page,
Mr. Chairman, we have all this ready to go if you just let us make our presentation.
you
If we don't
have,
have it, we can't make a decision. We
No,
can't
do
even
have.
accept it as
That's why this is
complete.
frustrating.
you have the
us.
sewer
We have all-
construction details, you have the,
I see.
you have the stop signs, you have the, you have the slope stabilization, grass lines, construction sequence. So you have all the sewer, let's see, hold on.
This is just a mini of that one anyway.
Yeah, it's not here, sorry.
You have the utility trenches, the lighting. So this is almost identical to a plan that was approved about a year ago, what was submitted here. Matter of fact, here, this has more information, more detail in it. So that's why I'm slightly confused on how you accepted it, where that's why I just need it, so I can help them so they can move forward next month. But I could always do that outside of this office.
I believe in that submission, we had building plans that showed,
They had-
we had complete elevations that showed it, because the neighbors were there saying, I've got to look at this thing that's 3 stories high that I'm looking at.
I've
and I have
got-
concerns, and we talked about those concerns.
We're missing the elevation. That's absolutely true. Besides that, do we have everything else?
From a civil perspective, it looked fine, but
Oh, okay, then that's fine, that's it, you're right, we did not get the elevation.
Christina, there's not a checklist for applications,
There is, and I have it submitted.
and does it have in it the elevations?
I believe so, and let's see.
It says that drainage, exterior lighting, plans for water, power, telephone, wells, water pipes, power and telephone poles and lines,
Number 7.
and conceptual plans for plans, exterior elevations, unless waived of all proposed structures on the site.
Yes, exterior elevations, and I
And
did,
they've got
I
it here
did,
checked off as a yes, and we don't have that.
you don't have, you have everything but the elevations, yes, that's true. The conceptual floor plans, and yes, we have, so it's still the elevations.
Christina, I want to make one more point. The whole reason for having the process mailed out to the abutters and for the public view is usurped if in fact information comes here that wasn't available before. So even if it could be here in the next 5 minutes, the hearing cannot go forward. End of story. So
Absolutely. There have been exceptions made if something's missing to bring it in or not approve it until they get that, but that's absolutely fine. You're right. If everything is not on the checklist met, you can state that it's incomplete. Or state to waive it to next time. But I agree.
so on the checklist, 6, 7, and 14.
So 6 is the,
Shape, size, and location.
well, they've got
Of existing and proposed.
the shape and the location of the
We
structure.
have a shape in this plan, we don't have, well, 3.
Right, that's the elevation. So we're back to the elevation, and then what was
So
the,
7 is elevations,
and then you said
and then-
we have exterior lighting, it's on page 7.
but as we experienced with the bank down the street, if all of a sudden lights show up on the side of this building, which we don't have elevations for, we can't review that. So 14 comes in as well.
They have that on page 7, I thought they had the lighting.
No. Anyways, for those reasons, it was really
Okay,
The,
make a motion.
I make a motion that we do not accept 2023 SPFP-1 as complete for items 6, 7, 14 of the checklist.
could you please be a little more specific with 6? 6?
6, item 6, the shape, size, and location. So we have flat plans, we show one floor, we don't show all the floor, we don't show the height area of this building. Roof profile, none of it. Which lends yourself to item 7, which is also conceptual plans, floor plans, elevations, etc. And then 14, anything that's like lighting that shows up on the exterior of this building cannot be approved unless you see it on those elevations. Because, case in point, the bank where we had the sconces on the side of the building that were direct light, for that reason, we need to see those as well.
Well, absolutely, and but those weren't a fault of the planning board. That was actually a fault of the planning and
We
zoning
need to see
department.
what their intent is for what they're doing. And we cannot reference another building, another case.
No, there's not
As-
referencing anything, so,
Well,
okay.
Earlier in the conversation, we said it's like the other one on the same property. Well, that doesn't apply. It's a different building, it's a different submission.
So-
6, 7, 14.
So do
That's
you,
our motion.
so you want new floor plans, though? Because that's 7, so,
And they also have to
because I
go by
have,
the fire department's review, and they said they can get to 1.5 sides. They need access to 3 complete sides of the building, which means that may change the elevations,
okay.
the backfill.
So they can take these comments from the departments as a preliminary review and apply them, so when the submission comes in, they've answered those questions.
But you're deeming the floor plans that were submitted today are not adequate? Just for
And
my,
they were not on
Added.
time. They were
Okay,
given to
fine.
us today.
fine. So adequate, okay.
So that was the motion.
And if you can get a hold of the highway department and see if they're aware of the rail trail encroachment.
This isn't their oversight, but I guess I could ask them, yes.
They're approving an access over
They're
the rail
not,
trail.
they're not approving it, it's DOT is approving it.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the highway department at the state level, yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be shown on the local tax maps?
It should.
Maybe the easiest way to do it rather than try to get through the state. Check the tax map and see if it says anything about it.
If in fact they're doing anything with the rail trail, they have to go through what was the old DRED, Department of Recreation, because they are the now owners of it. The state of New Hampshire, yes, but what department? DRED.
But that's what happened in Claremont when they opened it up over there. You can't even put a sign on it. That whole strip of Washington Street from Reed's to the
I am
other.
definitely gonna call DOT if they made a mistake in approving this driveway, I will get it
The only reason
rescinded.
I can get across it is because in 1870, when they built it, they gave 2 right-of-ways. So I have 2 passages to go over. Outside of that,
The rest of it's theirs.
Okay, we have a motion. Did we have a second?
No.
I'll second it.
We have a second by Terry. Ray. I think it's snowmobile. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and we will not accept it as complete.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we have a right to have a say here, but I know this thing is being postponed, but I believe we have a right to say. I want to read a couple things into the record, please.
Go ahead.
First of all, we would like to believe that our submission was complete, so I'm very shocked to hear this. The fact that we were not allowed to do our presentation prevented us from answering a lot of the board's justifiable questions. We could have answered every one of your questions, but we were not allowed to. And number three, Mr. Spalding recused himself, and yet he came in and participated in the meeting. I want that read on the record, and I want that known, that we object to that strenuously. We'll be back next, and we'll be glad to go over this with you again, and the presentation is going to be the same. But we're just a little frustrated that we're not allowed. We don't feel that we were given due process here, Mr. Chairman.
We cannot allow you to go on with a presentation if we do not deem it complete. That's the law, that's the way it is. I'm sorry, but
No, I-
three of those
I-
things were checked off that were not here. I'm sorry. Even the fire department didn't know how to get around the building. Everything wasn't there for them.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Mr. Spalding does have a right to participate as a private citizen.
that's correct.
Yes, and I want to make that point
But
myself.
the hearing was never open. How can he participate if the hearing was never open?
All I have to do is be recognized by the chairman. Sir, you are not God here, the chairman is.
That's all that we have. He was
Okay,
not,
Mr.
he was
Chairman,
not
thank you.
weighing in on your unit, you were just telling them where to go and what to see. And Dred is the department that's in charge of that rail trail.
Okay, thank you, and we'll be back next month. I'll coordinate with Christina tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. So this can go with this.
Take that away.
Yep.
And Bert, your mic. Put something in the washing machine and you get the keys. and
Okay, our
keeps
next
right
order
on
of
you.
business
You
is
shut it off.
2023 SDFP-1. Tailor-Made owner requests a final review for a minor subdivision property identified as map 231, lot 031, located at 417 Bradford Road in the rural zoning district. And do we have a presenter?
The owner, Taylor Made, is going to be presenting tonight.
Okay, so
Everybody
it's
have
it's the lot line test, so everything is there, right? So we have a motion to accept.
So move.
Second.
Ray moved. Oh, sorry.
Herb moved.
Herb moved.
Bert second.
Bert second. Sounded like you. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. And you may have the floor.
Thanks for the entertainment.
We consider it an obligation.
It is.
Wait, are you going to present? You have to present your application.
We just opened.
Yeah, we just
You have
opened
to
it.
present the application. You literally have to give the presentation. So you don't.
We
if you
got
don't
them
have-
saying
no.
they don't want to go away and they're going literally.
Wait, I didn't know what, so I apologize. No, so what you could do is if you don't have much to say about it, although maybe whoever could speak better, I know Jenny and I have spoken this.
The big issue is to work out with the neighbor to take a non-compliant lot, and make it compliant. They wanted a little extra land.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
So this is where we already have the buildings just
Sorry.
built?
Okay, this is the original lot
Yeah.
here.
So worked out with Sharon to acquire this piece of property, which actually was like this way. and we took this much, made this compliant, and left that much of that to make that lot compliant.
Okay.
So that is what the state wants for the septic system.
So you're making a non-complying lot
Compliant.
compliant, and you're not affecting one and making it
And the other one's
non-compliant.
compliant. So that's where the surveyor came in, and we messed around with this post to give us a little more driveway. And then he said, let's see if we can do it. He did the calculations, and everything met the spec. So, it's good news.
So A and B are going to lot 31, and the rest is staying with
Yeah.
this one, lot 30.
Yeah.
And this one over here.
So they both comply, and the state's happy, and the town's happy. So everything needs to do that.
Any other comment? I'll open it to the public. Is there any questions or comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, I'll come back to the board. What you,
They both comply?
yes,
They have the proper road frontage?
in that area, I believe that's got town water and sewer, doesn't it?
Oh, it does that?
No,
It
it doesn't. And the original, the 417
Which is,
is the one that just shows foundation and driveway,
okay.
has,
Can I fold this in?
Um,
You don't need this.
neither of them comply with road frontage for the rural zone. So with that said, they're legal non-conforming in regards to road frontage.
Oh, yeah.
In regards to road frontage, when Taylor made, I apologize, I don't know your first name or your last, I know Jenny's. I apologize. When this gentleman stated that, I think he was talking in regards to overall size of the property. But 417 was legal non-conforming prior to, they didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
They made it more conforming.
Yeah.
More, and they didn't decrease the conformity, if that's a word, of the other lot. They didn't decrease how non-conforming it is, because, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just the frontages.
They went from 100 to 147.6 frontage.
Well, we got a driveway permit, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows.
Yeah.
You had a driveway permit years and years and years ago. Yes, yes. You're legal non-conforming,
And
and
the other,
always
the
have
other
been.
lot is legal because it has 93 on that one and 140 feet on Sunshine Court, which is a private road, so that's good.
So grandfathered status of the entrance, and making the lot conforming. So if you had two broken arms, he fixed, one of them had been that way so long, you're gonna leave it that way, and the other one he's fixing.
Actually, wait, I'd like to correct. I made a mistake. The original property is conforming. I apologize, because their road frontage is Sunshine Court. It's the 417 that has become more conforming with this added land.
That's what I stated.
Right, sorry. I stated they were both non-conforming. That is not true. One is fully conforming.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve, I don't have anything with its number on here. You read the number we're going to have? The 2023 SDFP-1, Tyler
Taylor.
Taylor May.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it.
Now it's okay.
Now it's over.
I'll send you a formal notification.
You want these signed, or you want to wait for my
I
last?
love those signed, and does anyone have a Sharpie? Although I don't think on this we need Sharpies.
We don't.
Oh, we also will need a Mylar to submit.
Chris had mentioned.
They usually, everyone waits to make sure there's no assessments, absolutely.
We don't
So bring it
have
in whenever.
Okay.
we don't have a stamp.
There's one. Oh, no, we don't have it.
There's
Title
no,
law. Well, it's just signed. No. hold it up for that.
Well, these are for us anyway. Can we go
Yeah.
here and here?
Absolutely, sign wherever you want if that's what you're worried about. And if you could do both, that'd be great. And you're right, we don't have to use the Sharpie on these. It's on the.
Okay, so we're all set here, and we can be like Leonardo.
Thank you.
Just sign wherever.
You could sign wherever you want, in that lower corner. Right, I know. Anywhere around
Now,
here,
wait a minute,
except
at
except
least
for
gotta
where
be
the
with,
chairperson,
in the
Dave
group.
has to sign there.
I'll sign that, yeah.
So you're okay, and I'm out of line.
So, all right, I'm gonna go here.
Can't read mine anyway, so when you go there, I'll go behind you again.
That's supposed to be black to be legal.
Well,
I'd like to sign over there, but.
They said you can use blue now as long as it's not turquoise.
Really?
Keep changing their mind on it. I thought,
Guys, of course, then they make a copy of it, it's black anyway, so.
basically, just so that it picks up on the
Yeah.
Yeah, you got two on Okay, I'll let you go first, Leonardo. Give you room.
Now, let me just, I'm just gonna check this, to make sure Dave, you did the application is complete.
There, I made it a little smaller.
Could you sign the NOD?
Yeah.
No, just to make sure, I have to copy your signature, it's never very good. And this is probably the first time I've ever gotten the signatures accurate, too. When I'm actually on that. Yeah. Autograph, signature autographs. Ahead of time. And the Mylar, hopefully I should have by next week. And I'll obviously bring it if I have. That can go in
I think
the garbage.
this is that, that's that.
Yep.
I think it all came with it.
Yep,
It's all mine here.
okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, our next order of business is 2023 SDFB-2 Sheridan Mead. Owner Patrick Dombrowski, agent, requested final review for a minor subdivision. Property was identified as map 260, lot 001, located at 480 Unity Road in the rural zoning district, and a request to continue by the applicant.
I think there was some slight missing of like a right of way or something, but I'm not sure. So I believe there were some alterations and he just asked to have it continued.
I need to step down.
Okay. But we're not gonna see it anyway.
You're gonna vote on,
We're
we're just gonna
vote.
continue it. All right. I'll make a motion that we continue, 2023 SDFP-2 to 6 PM, 3/21/23.
Bingo.
We have a second,
Second.
and we have a second by Bert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Radio.
One abstention, be ready.
Where's 48?
Right next to me.
Right next to you. Oh, good.
Okay.
I just didn't know where the numbers.
Minutes for January 2023.
Way off from my brother road.
They're attached to the agenda.
I know it is, now I see what it is.
I went through it quickly, didn't see anything major.
What are we working on now?
Old minutes.
Old minute.
No. Members absent, spelled right.
I would move the minutes of January 10, 2023.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain.
One abstention.
I was an aye, but I want to make a comment.
Yeah.
I read these things very, very detailed, and every word in here passed. As a fact checker, she blew me away this time. Everything. That's a lot of words in there, a lot of everything, and it's really good, Mara.
She's a hell of a moderator, too.
Wow, you're never gonna see that again.
Good moderator, too.
I thought so.
Yes, yeah. She stood right there, non-tired, ready to pull me away from the mic or anybody else.
You can,
Okay. Back to administration, the master plan survey. we need to either approve or
Or
fix.
modify.
And
One
then-
thing I will say is I've gotten a quote, which this doesn't really include you guys, but it is money, for mailing to, there's 4,000 dwellings, I think there's 3,996 dwellings in Newport presently, listed by the United States Postal Service. Getting a service to do this, because it's pretty cumbersome, I have a quote for roughly $3,000 to mail one of these with 2 envelopes, one for a return, that would have our return, and then the original envelope, I think they're gonna put something on it like, help, I forget what he said. It said a good, like, help frame your town, or help decide where your town goes, something like that, like, so people like maybe more intrigued to open it, kind of for the survey inside. And so that came to like $3,000, and they would do all the printing, they would do all, the folding of the paper, stuffing, the 2 envelopes, mailing. And then we would have to pay for that they would have to put a stamp on it, or they could drop it off at, we have places, I'm gonna have the offices to drop it off at too. And I'm gonna try to do an online survey, that people can go online and do it. But and I plan on doing that with whatever you approve, I'll mimic it.
Is there any possible way to do it as an insert to the Newport Times?
And just what, in like an envelope with the return
Put it with an
envelope?
Yeah, put it in with an envelope.
And then not do any mailings? I don't know,
Does
I'd have
everybody
to
get
ask
that?
the New York,
It's supposed to
New-
go out to every address in Newport. Whether they get it or not, sometimes it's dealt with.
Yeah.
Who-
Up for grabs.
and whether, I would hate to see it, the Newport Times thrown away if anyone did, and it be inside it.
No, I think this is important, and it's.
I think it should be a
It's gonna
standard.
be standalone.
The postage is actually really cheap. It's only like, that's only like 17 cents because it's this weird, it's to, it's to every resident in Unit 1 to whatever. And that's cheap. It's the copies and the 2 envelopes and then the paper and making the copies. And again, if we recall not that this is, they're the gold standard, but if you recall what the Upper Valley was gonna charge for this, it was easily double the price. Again, I could get more, but more prices, but that's kind of just an internal.
No, I think it's one of our missions, and we have to do it.
And I think I'd like it if we can either make changes tonight and then approve on these changes. I love these, you see if I even wrote in April 1st as a mailing date, because I'd love to get these out. And then obviously I will fill in the little X's because I've got to get that survey online first to visit that place. And then I do think, you're right, I just realized this, I guess it would have to be decided tonight
Yeah, I think we
of
can
the
do that,
public
but
hearing.
what is this, it says Richard School, planning board will host a community forum at Richard School.
It doesn't have to be, that's where they were held last time, so it's a larger forum
Yeah.
for a public, we do have to hold, I think, at least one public hearing. And for locally communicating on the master plan. And so we wanted, that was in the last survey in, 2023, I saw a mistake already, 2020, right at the top.
Yeah.
We could come up with a date so it goes out, or I could just nix that, but it would be a great thing to go out if people wanted to we have to post a public forum. And then
Have you-
schedule that.
That's the
Has
best
the
place.
superintendent approved?
The Richard School,
Yeah.
the use of the Richard School, no. I mean, I'm sure I could get that checked out tomorrow if you guys came up with a date, or
So you're going under the assumption that we would overflow this room?
that's what was done last time, or you could just have it here and we're not thinking that it's like Birch, possibly not overflowing this room. And that might
I
be easy.
don't believe we need an auditorium.
Right,
Bert,
and I don't believe we need to go beyond this room.
Bert might be right, and that would make because I could easily email you guys out tomorrow, what dates do you think work best for you? And we probably wouldn't do them, if this went out
We have-
April
we've got a room
1st,
filled
and we
with
wait
people
60
standing
days
on
for
the
things
side.
to come back. April, May, we could either have an open forum in May, because that might also perk people's interest in filling this out if they still have it shoved in a corner, or May or June. I think May would be a better time.
Well, May would be a good time to have the town meeting.
Have surveys there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, we could have extra surveys, and I could have a little bin, they could bring them to my office, they can request them if they didn't get one at my office, absolutely.
So let's change the Richard School
To here, perfect, I've got that, then that's easy.
the
And
selectmen's room.
Now, are we talking the deliberative session, or are we talking the all-day voting session?
Deliberative.
this is just the open forum for a discussion on the topics for the,
It won't be, it'll be a standalone meeting.
yeah, just
How about
open,
so?
master plan open forum for public comment.
Okay, but
And
then when she mentioned that they could, what they could do with the documents and et cetera, it's gonna be its own entity.
I was just, someone said if at the deliberative session,
Well, I
there
was
could
just
be
saying,
copies of this for people to fill out if they wanted to, I could have them there.
Yeah. 'Cause
If
it's
they
public
missed
day.
out.
They're thinking town at that day, that's all.
I mean,
As long as that due date is after.
Yeah.
And there
Well,
could
this-
be
yeah.
people that one person in a household, like say a husband and a wife, or one wants to fill it out and another one has a different opinion. And in theory, they both should be able to fill out a survey for where they want to.
So item C should be like June 1 then.
Yeah.
Jack, you better know.
Instead
So
of
you,
April.
item C,
C,
okay, please
Date.
complete, yes, you're right, okay, wait, it's February, no, what, I made a mistake, I apologize. I wanted these to potentially go out in like 2 weeks, if we can get it approved. So then that would be March, it should be May 1st, which would give 60 days.
Right, but if we want to have these at deliberative, you gotta wait till after that. So
Right.
Right.
That's why I'm saying June 1st.
Okay. So, and then we wanted to, okay, so let's go June 1, take the survey online, that's me, change it to the BOS room,
Yeah.
and I could send these out too before I give a final if anyone sees an error.
Oh, The
So,
first one's in April?
Yeah, and
Oh, and the voting
you've
is
got
May.
30 days to
Yeah,
vote.
So it
So-
could be May 1.
when do you think it would be good to have, so we could get it on this paperwork, the public open forum? So we're trying to get it in
So we do it-
April or May, we could
do it
have.
in May.
Okay, so your meeting in May, we have town meeting in May, right?
Correct,
That's on Tuesday, right?
correct.
Yeah, but that's just the voting, you said though, right? But the April one is the deliberative, that's the one
Correct.
Right, so you meet on the 16th normally for your normal meeting in May. We could have it the 23rd or the 30th in this room, and I could double check to make sure no one else is in this room in May, but I think it's probably open. I could double check the 20th or the 30th for the open forum. Maybe the 30th, just to give us more time.
That's holiday.
Oh, shit.
We'll do the 23rd,
Do
whatever
the-
that.
Okay,
Yeah, do
let's
the
do the
23rd.
23rd.
We have a 21st meeting though.
We have a 16th
Oh,
meeting.
That's March, never mind, I'm sorry.
We have a May 16th meeting. You want to just say we have, and I'll make sure this works, the 23rd. Because I'd like it on here, and then if I can get these, I can get these mailed by like February 28th, like by the end of the month, which would be nice, because we really wanted January 1st. So we're 2 months behind, but that's all right. So let me do Tuesday, May 23rd.
I went through this. Thanks, Ben.
At 6 PM in the BOS room, which then I don't have to, I can double check that myself. June 1st, and they also will help me maybe tighten this up a little. It'll look the same, not that the wording, but maybe we won't have so many spaces in between and stuff. It'll look a little neater.
Yeah, I think with those changes, we can go ahead and clean it up. and
First page.
send it out.
Yeah, okay, so then,
I think this is a lot more livable for people to do, rather that last one was a horror show. That was like a term paper.
It was, like, yeah, it was homework for sure. Okay, this is great.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
On B, take the survey online by visiting, or is that just going to be next?
It would be visiting.
Well, you have to put the website.
I've got to get the link, and it's going to be on, and people have told me how to do this. I have to do like an LRQ, so it's going to be on the website, and then it will be click on the LRQ code, and then you fill it out and you submit. Eek. So,
on you.
and the word visiting, not visit, online by visiting, I think, would be the proper
So
English.
would it be under the planning board webpage?
I don't know, I'd probably put it on the main, it's town master plan. I'd like it on the front page, but if they don't allow me to, I'll put it under the planning board page.
Yeah, the prior one was.
I mean, it would be nice.
TINYURL.com.
What was it?
TINYURL.com.
Well, that page is very easy.
Or TM. Oh, I guess it might be TM.
TMNY?
It's a dot, right?
Okay, well, I'll fit, and then, again, I think it would be nice to have it on the top page.
So Newport, NewHampshire.net,
Thank you.
I mean .gov.
Oh, yeah, tiny URL.
I have no idea what that is.
That's the online survey. Someone, so I should know how to do this, gosh darn it, if someone knew how to do it in 2010. So I'm gonna figure that out. Okay, that seems easy enough
The
then.
econ developer ought to be able to figure that
Oh, that's where it was, that's, you're right, the econ. This, you know what, who did this? That's why it's this weird, the upper we paid a fortune for this last time.
Yeah.
Because they did the whole thing.
yeah.
That's why, I'm like, who
That's why we
knows?
ended up with a book.
Okay, so I'll give this back, thank you.
out. You can burn it.
Okay, thanks. I should be able to figure it out pretty easily to link
Okay,
it.
do I have a motion?
I actually have one
Yes.
comment. Number 5, or question 5,
Yes.
where it talks about, would you like to see or see more businesses and services that you would like to see more of in Newport? I'm assuming that second block of questions there is where you would like to see said businesses and or services?
Yeah, that's right. What's missing there? Community land use economic development. So,
Question is missing.
right. There's a freaking question missing. Okay, hold on. We should be able to find it in
Is it in there somewhere?
Ken just gave me. It's 6. Wait, hold on. Nope, 6 is there. To what extent do you agree? 7 and 8 are there.
Could that just
No,
be,
it just said,
I think it's like,
could you just make that 5A?
where, if you take that block and superimpose it to the bottom of number 5 and in that gray space, where would you like to see it?
It's like a continuation.
or just write 5, I agree, maybe, or I could just do 6, the other numbers can change, but I think they work in tandem.
Yeah, it's just-
Where mostly would you like to see development, I guess?
Yeah.
Let's see, that would be question on the original.
Yeah,
Question 7 and 8, where in Newport would you like to see development?
Yes.
Development. That's what it was on the
okay,
original.
so it was question number 7. Now, why don't we just make it, do you think it could be question 5A, because it correlates? Okay, do you guys all agree with that? Okay, 5A, I like that, and I'm gonna
Just
write,
record-keeping at that point.
where in Newport would you like to see development? That's what I'm gonna pose the question?
Yep.
If we're done with that question.
What do you got for a question?
Well, every 10 years, we have to update the master plan, and so we got to look forward. And I wonder if we've addressed the locations for the homeless people in tent compounds.
What was this?
I don't think we
missed
did
what
the
he
last
said.
time.
We're gonna put them in the tiny houses down River.
Oh, I thought that was a
That's the
woman.
dog.
I missed, was this a joke that I missed?
You didn't hear my question.
I didn't hear it.
Well, it's 10 years that we have to do this, and
Yes.
the way things are changing,
Yes.
that have we got any plans in here where we would allow the homeless people to put their tents up?
Well, actually, I hear homeless people are held at the Ritz-Carltons or the fanciest hotels in the area from what other states are now doing, so I don't think we would have worrisome of that.
Okay, well, I hope everybody listening gets that as humor.
And mine was too,
Outside of
although
the
mine's
shot on
reality,
site.
not humor. Absolutely, I think I'm gonna re-forward these out, then when I do get these people to do it, I think they're gonna make it look a little prettier, and I think it's either even gonna be on a little bigger size paper, and then I'll just show you what it looks like, but no wording will be changed, no wording, and no organizational form, like it won't, all of a sudden you won't see something before the other, nothing like that. It just, I think it might look a little prettier, but obviously, nothing changes in organization of it. And thank you for that one thing that was kind of hanging out there. And I like it being 5A, because it correlates.
But don't lighten it up too much. It needs to look businesslike. It needs to look more important than it needs to look pretty.
Oh, I wasn't trying to make it look pretty. I think it could look more professionally done than what's here. That's what I meant. So it would look more businesslike than our project. That's what I was kind of thinking. That's my opinion. And some of it is like the roughed in, I don't know.
It's a rough draft.
I think they could make it look a little tighter, professional. But that I would show you too, and again,
Good space users might cut down the cost
I
a
think,
little bit.
I think they're gonna have, fewer pages and I'll also tell you what they're gonna write on the outside, because I think they do this with a lot of towns, and they had a really good saying, and I'm like, so it catches people's eyes, and I'm like, oh, that's great, and now I can't remember it. So I'll let you know. It's like, contribute to the future of your town, or have input, be involved in Newport's future, something like that. I thought it could catch people's eye. Thought it was a great idea. That's it on my
Well,
side.
do we have a motion to? No, accept it.
I make a motion that we, upon final draft edits as discussed tonight, that we accept and issue.
Okay, so meaning it comes back to us.
Comes back to us for that final review,
Yep.
per what we talked about, and then if it's good, then we,
Via
Via
email.
email, we direct
Yeah,
Christina
and that
to
I haven't made any
issue
clear,
it.
absolutely, and then, because I just want to try to get this out, yep, absolutely.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Mike seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it. Thank you for your time and effort putting this all together.
It's only been like a year and a half.
I know. Well, right, I know, trust me.
The 10 years is when you gotta do it. It doesn't say that's when you gotta finish it. The finish line can be moved.
That's right. I did hear him talking about in the Board of Selectmen budget meeting that they did have a line item for master plan. So you might have money in the budget.
They had a lot. I did mention to Hunter that I had about a $3,000 fee. Was that the line item?
I don't recall if it had any money in it. I think there was a line item,
No, there was
but I don't know if there was any dollar amount on the line.
He didn't balk when I said, and I actually think the price is pretty, that's less.
You gotta do it, bottom line.
And it's less, it's 75 cents a delivery with the return envelope.
They're doing the NRI for the Conservation Commission, so that's gonna be part of the master plan, the town master plan, so.
Did you get a robocaller?
Okay. All right, that's it for administration. Communications, any other communications to the board? I'll accept public input. Seeing and hearing none, we will come back to the board.
walk out.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
And Maura brought up some
I know, some good
Valentine's Day
stuff.
goodies.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't
We couldn't get to them earlier, we got a little heated.
Oh, that's all right. I just want to understand, because I feel like I'm not going to get it to you.
I think what we need to do is,
Diet, so.
in